We're back to the NEED News, and now the NEED Finances with Alan Telles.
Good night, everybody. I'm Alan Telles reporting the finances. China has experienced a huge industrial and economic growth in the last 5 years. Today, it is one of the largest consumers of many industrial commodities, as well as a great producer, selling at the most competitive prices in the world. The Wall Street Journal reports that China's gross domestic product grew by nearly 10% this last year, far outpacing the United States, which barely grew less than half China's pace. As a result of this economic surge, China is buying a lot of raw materials, being the steel the most important of them. China needs the steel to convert over the 60% of its rural landscape into urban cityscape. At 220 million tons per annum, China steel production is more than the United States and Japan combined. A very important factor that is involved in all this situation is China's population, which is the largest one in the world, with over 1 billion citizens and a growth of over 14 million a year, which equals to a new Australia every year. Can China take care of this increase? With care, I mean food, water, clothes, housing, and even medical care. All this involves the use of a lot of resources and many money. To produce enough energy for this population, China is planning to build 40 new nuclear plants. But this may create a lot of troubles of contamination and sustainable development. The result of this economic and industrial boom is uncertain, as analysts are divided whether this is bad or good news for the global economy. But what we can be sure of is that a new giant is born, and China becoming a new world power, seriously competing with the United States as well as the rest of Europe. Now, in other financial information, the stock market reported losses for Microsoft, Walmart, McDonald's, and Miscelánea Doña Lupis went up 5.7 points. Now, back with McGregor.
Thank you, Alan. And now we have a special report from the Vatican with Luis Galvez.
It was March 30, the date that was announced the Pope was starting to be fed through a tube. According to Joaquim Navarro, the official Vatican spokesman said, it is just to improve his caloric intake and to promote a more efficient way to recover his strength. Later that week, Sunday, April 3rd, he was announcing something different. The Pope is dead. He died last Saturday. He was 83 years old. He was born Karol Wojtyla in 1920 in Poland. He survived a very close to death attack, and a Parkinson's disease got 10 years earlier. In first place, all the cardinals in the Vatican lose their power, which remains only in the secretaries of state, and most important, in the Carmelengo. But in second place, after 15 or 20 days of the Pope's death, all the cardinals around the world are gathered here in the Vatican, because they are about to enter in the conclave, here in the Sistine Chapel, where they will discuss and vote for the next Pope. There is no communication for outsiders. The only communication is this small chimney, which will emanate only black smoke or white smoke. Black smoke meaning that they failed choosing a next Pope. White smoke meaning that the world has chosen, that the world has its new Pope. There are nearly 120 cardinals who are about to enter the conclave, but according to Roderick Aiken, a religious expert, whoever the next Pope is, he will surely be compared with John Paul II. This because many reasons. One of them is that he was constantly traveling around the world, visiting many countries, naming him the traveler. Another one is that John Paul II was the only pope in history who ever apologizes for church mistakes. There are Latin, African, and Italian cardinals. But Roderick A. Camp said that Latin had more chances to be as loved as John Paul II. I am Luis Galvez from the Vatican. Back to you, Mac.
Thank you, Luis Galvez. That was a neat report. Now, some messages from our sponsors.